There is a place in this world where the water is so clear, so impossibly blue, that standing at the edge of it feels like staring into another dimension. Belize. A small country tucked along the northeastern coast of Central America, bordered by the Caribbean Sea on one side and ancient jungle on the other. For most travelers, Belize is a dream destination. For Suzi Scuba, it is something far more personal than that. It is home away from home. It is the place where every dive feels like the first dive, where every descent into the deep brings something new, something unexpected, something that reminds her exactly why she fell in love with the ocean in the first place. Suzi has explored dive sites across the globe, from the coral gardens of Southeast Asia to the kelp forests of the Pacific. But Belize holds a special kind of magic that no other destination has ever quite replicated. The moment her fins hit the water and she begins her descent, the noise of the world above disappears completely. What replaces it is a symphony of silence broken only by the rhythmic sound of her own breathing and the occasional crackle of marine life going about its ancient business. Belize is not just a diving destination. It is a living, breathing underwater cathedral, and Suzi Scuba is one of its most devoted worshippers. To understand why Suzi keeps coming back to Belize, you have to understand what makes this country so extraordinary from a marine perspective. Belize is home to the Belize Barrier Reef, the largest barrier reef in the Northern Hemisphere, and the second largest in the entire world, stretching approximately 185 miles along the coastline. This reef system was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1996, and for very good reason. It is one of the most biodiverse marine ecosystems on the planet, supporting hundreds of species of fish, coral, rays, sharks, sea turtles, and countless invertebrates that form the foundation of a thriving underwater world. What sets Belize apart from other reef destinations is the sheer variety of diving experiences available within a relatively compact geographic area. You can drift along shallow coral gardens teeming with colorful reef fish in the morning, and by afternoon you can be hovering at the edge of a dramatic wall drop, peering into the deep blue abyss where larger pelagic species patrol the open water. The visibility in Belizean waters is consistently exceptional, often exceeding 100 feet. Which means that every dive is a visual feast from the moment you enter the water to the moment you surface. Suzi often says that diving in Belize is like diving inside a painting, one that is constantly changing, constantly alive, and never quite the same twice. No conversation about diving in Belize is complete without talking about the Great Blue Hole. And for Suzi Scuba, this iconic site occupies a very special place in her heart. Located near the center of Lighthouse Reef Atoll, approximately 70 miles off the coast of Belize City, the Great Blue Hole is a massive underwater sinkhole, measuring roughly 1,000 feet across and over 400 feet deep. From the air, it appears as a perfect dark circle of deep indigo surrounded by the brilliant turquoise of the shallow reef, a sight so striking that it has become one of the most recognizable natural formations on Earth. Jacques Cousteau famously declared it one of the top 10 diving sites in the world back in 1971, and divers have been making pilgrimages to its depths ever since. Suzi remembers her first descent into the blue hole with a clarity that time has not diminished. The water darkens as you go deeper, shifting from bright blue to a rich, velvety indigo. At around 100 feet, the stalactites begin to appear, enormous limestone formations hanging from the ancient cave ceiling that was once above sea level thousands of years ago during the last ice age. These geological giants serve as a reminder that the ocean is not just a living ecosystem, but also a keeper of deep geological history. Caribbean reef sharks often cruise through the deeper sections of the blue hole, their sleek forms gliding effortlessly through the dark water, adding an element of primal wonder to an already extraordinary experience. Beyond the drama of the Great Blue Hole, Belize offers an abundance of dive sites that celebrate the quieter, more intimate side of reef diving. Suzi has spent countless hours exploring the coral gardens of Holchan Marine Reserve, a protected area near Ambergris Cay that serves as a nursery for an astonishing variety of marine life. Nurse sharks rest lazily on the sandy bottom, while spotted eagle rays glide overhead with effortless grace. Moray eels peer out from crevices in the coral, their expressions perpetually curious. Schools of yellowtail snapper move through the water in shimmering silver clouds, parting and reforming around divers with a fluidity that seems almost choreographed. Shark Ray Alley, located just south of Holchan, is another site that Suzi returns to again and again. Despite its dramatic name, this shallow, sandy area is a remarkably gentle environment, where nurse sharks and southern stingrays congregate in numbers that can seem almost unbelievable to first-time visitors. The rays glide across the sandy bottom with their wings rippling in slow, hypnotic waves, and the sharks rest in clusters so relaxed they seem almost domesticated. Suzi always reminds new divers that these animals are wild and deserving of deep respect, but their calm presence in this protected space is a powerful testament to what marine conservation can achieve when communities commit to protecting their natural resources. One of the things Suzi loves most about diving in Belize is not just what lies beneath the surface, but the community that has grown up around it. Belizean dive operators are among the most passionate and knowledgeable in the world, many of them born and raised in coastal communities where the reef has always been central to daily life. They carry a deep, instinctive understanding of the marine environment that no textbook can fully replicate, and they share that knowledge with genuine enthusiasm and warmth. Suzi has built lasting friendships with dive guides across the country, people who have shown her hidden caves, secret swim-throughs, and off-the-beaten-path sites that never appear in any guidebook. The broader diving community in Belize is equally welcoming, a global gathering of enthusiasts united by their love of the underwater world. On any given live-aboard or dive boat, you might find yourself sharing a surface interval conversation with a marine biologist from Norway, a retired school teacher from Australia, or a young photographer from Japan on their first international dive trip. These connections, formed in the shared language of wonder and respect for the ocean, are part of what keeps Suzi returning to Belizean waters year after year. Suzi Scuba's love for Belize is ultimately a love story about the ocean itself, about what it means to enter a world that operates entirely on its own terms, indifferent to human schedules and ambitions, governed by tides and currents, and the slow rhythms of biological time. Every dive in Belize is a reminder of how much of our planet remains wild and extraordinary, how much beauty exists just beneath the surface of the water that covers more than 70% of the Earth. Suzi often talks about the responsibility that comes with that love, the duty that every diver carries to protect the ecosystems they are privileged to explore. Belize has made remarkable strides in marine conservation, with large areas of its reef system now protected under national and international law. But the work is never finished. Climate change, ocean acidification, and irresponsible tourism continue to threaten reef systems around the world, and Belize is not immune to those pressures. Suzi uses her platform to advocate for reef conservation, encouraging her fellow divers to dive responsibly, support local conservation organizations, and make choices that prioritize the long-term health of the ocean over short-term convenience. Because at the end of the day, the greatest gift that Belize has given Suzi Scuba is not just the memory of extraordinary dives. It is the understanding that the ocean is worth fighting for, worth protecting, and worth loving with every breath you take, above the surface and below it.